Will Smith and Jada Pinkett are in the news again. So what we're going to discuss tonight is Jada Pinkett out of pocket. Is this scripted? Should Will and Jada stay together? The panel discusses next. The Six starts right now. Happy Halloween, everybody. Hopefully you guys are all having a, I can't come up with cheesy Halloween jokes. I've never been able to do it, but I've added the werewolf sound, I guess, for effect. Before we get started tonight, let's go ahead and introduce tonight's esteemed panel. First up, the best dressed and probably best smelling man on the panel. He is out of Chicago. It is Coach Everett Overton. What's going on, brother?
Hey, what's up, man? I thought that was the WCW Wolfpack. Remember that back in the day, the Wolfpack?
Dude, hell yeah, man.
Hey, happy Halloween, everybody. Good to be back with everyone on the panel. Shout out to all the men. I'm Coach EO. I'm representing my brand, Champion Game, and we got a good topic. So good to have everybody back. Let's get in it.
Let's do it, man. Next up, the mouth of the South, kind of. It's Dr. BOA. What's going on, brother?
What's good, man? What's good? Good to be on the panel, man. Good to see you in the joint with us tonight. Lucario, I know you're going to cook, man. Y'all tune in for this show, man. You know, it seems like just a popular topic, man, but you got a group of esteemed guys, man. We're going to take some deep dives on this thing, so get your scuba gear ready.
Yes, sir. Next up, of course, the Six alumnus, the only guy on the panel who has a wife and a girlfriend who actually know about each other, and they're okay with it. It's Mr. Lucario. What's going on, man? Unmute yourself.
He muted.
My bad. Here we go.
Right,
Shout out to everybody on the panel, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Thanks, Donovan, for having me on here. You know what I mean? So let's get it. I'm ready.
Very good. Next up, the man who is the reason why they call Tony Stark the White Hotep Jesus. It's Hotep Jesus.
That Hotep Jesus. There it is. That Hotep Jesus dude. Shout out to Tariq Nasheed for the drop mentioning my name. I appreciate you. That Hotep Jesus dude.
Damn, you tight with Tariq like that?
No, he was making fun of me, and I just snatched the clip and added it to my soundboard. So I appreciate him for giving me the soundbite.
All right, shout out to Tariq King Nasheed. All right, good shit, man. Last but certainly not least, it is Kevin Savo. Now, Kevin, I'm going to change. I think you requested that I change your YouTube channel on here to The Adventures of Savaho. Is that what you're looking for?
The Adventures of Savaho, Fat Mommies. It's your boy.
Good shit. Very, very good.
And happy Halloween. I hope that everybody that tuned in is not dressed up as Buzz Lightyear, slamming beers, trying to impress a chick at some Halloween party, and you're getting some good information instead.
Now, I don't call it Halloween. I actually call it Slutoween. Because Halloween seems to be the holiday that gives girls really permission to dress like a slut and not really get shit talked about them. So that's why
it was always the worst when you're in a relationship. It's always like, I'm going as a baseball player and she's going as a hoe. And she's like, well, I'm just pretending to be a hoe because it's Halloween. And you're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. You ain't pretending, sweetheart. And listen, I remember back in the day, the only slutty costumes were like a cat or a devil or a nurse. Those were the three slutty outfits, right? Now you got slutty
French maid.
Yeah, well, French maid. Now you got the slutty pirate, slutty air traffic control person, slutty football. Everything's
cartoon slutty characters.
Yes.
Well, you have a cleavagey exposed version of everything. It's like Freddy Krueger with titties, Jason Voorhees with titties.
Yes, right. right. Slutty Freddy Krueger. I mean, it goes on and on and on. We have a great.
I call it women's second summer.
Really? Elaborate on that. I like that.
They love fall.
The whole summer is about exposing their body.
Okay.
And the fall is a damper on that party. So Halloween is like that one last ditch effort to attract a man to keep them warm for the winter.
Yes. And by the way, we are smack dab in the middle of cuffing season. I think Steve the Dean calls it sucker me season, but yes, we're in cuffing season. I'm going to give you the Reader's Digest version. So what happens is you got hot girl summer. Girls basically fuck any dude with a Y chromosome and a smile. Well, when the fall comes, what they'll do is they'll latch on to the guy they like the most. The reason why they do this is because they don't want to be alone for the holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Valentine's Day. So what they'll do is they'll sucker you into a relationship with her. So now she has somebody to show on Halloween, or well, somebody to go to the Halloween party with, somebody to take home to Thanksgiving, take home to Christmas. Oh, happy Valentine's Day, baby, blah, 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 blah. Until, of course, spring break starts to roll around, at which point she says, honey, we need to talk. Rinse and repeat. So if you've been fucking a girl all summer long and all of a sudden she seems interested in a long-term relationship, kick that hoe to the curb starting tonight on Slutoween. Does anybody have anything else to add to that?
Hey, the only thing I'll say something real quick to that. Like, it really doesn't matter what a woman's interested in.
Right.
Like at the end of the day, like, I want guys to know it really doesn't matter what she says. I mean, of course we'll listen to it, perhaps we'll consider it, but at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter what she wants. It matters what you want. And I know we're making a light-hearted joke with Halloween, but remember that, guys. It really doesn't matter what she says. At the end of the day, it matters what you want.
In the immortal words of Hotep Jesus when he was on Rogan, fuck her shit. I think that's probably what we can take from that. Okay, so real quick, fellas.
Let me add some of that too.
Go ahead, BOA. You got it.
You know, my thing is this, man. A woman can't be everything for me, and I can't be everything for her. So if she want to go kick it with somebody on the holidays, fine. That nigga ain't gonna be me,
right?
So I'm cool. If you want to go like have Thanksgiving dinner with somebody's family, and you want to kick it for Christmas and do all of that, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? I'll be in Miami for the Christmas holidays. So either you can hang with me or you could go hang with dude and unwrap gifts and all that type of shit. So you guys got to understand, man, that you don't have to try to be everything for a woman, man. Like, you can't be it anyway. You're just wasting your time. You be who you are, and however that fits into her world or however she fits into yours, that's just how it is. You can't change that shit, man.
God damn, I got to give you hell for that one. Yes, sir. That's going to be the Don DeMarco for the day, is the howl. Okay, so what I'm going to do real quick, guys, is I'm going to read this here article. What we're going to do is we're going to quickly go through the timeline of the relationship of one Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. So, 1994, Will and Jada met when she auditioned to play his girlfriend on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. She did not get the part, and he was married to Cherie Zampino, with whom he shares a son, Trey. At the time, I had a realization I wasn't the person I was supposed to be with, he recalled on the Red Table Talk in 2018. I was sitting in the bathroom stall and I was crying and laughing uncontrollably. I knew Jada was the woman I was supposed to be with. Oh, boy. Yeah. As Jada's hair gets ever shorter. 1995, the Men in Black star and Gotham alum began dating. In 1995, following his divorce from Zampino, he asked Jada if she was, quote, seeing anyone, and when she told him she wasn't, he made his move. Cool, you're seeing me now, he replied. Okay, that's pretty good game. As Jada's hair gets ever shorter. 1997, Will proposed to Jada in November of 1997. They tied the knot 1 month later. The top secret wedding took place at a hotel near her native Baltimore. As Jada's hair gets ever shorter. 1998, the couple's son Jaden arrived in July of 98. He later starred in multiple films with his father, including Pursuit of Happiness and Earth. I thought Jaden Smith was awesome in The Karate Kid. I thought he was really good in that. That was really, really well made. Jackie Chan and all the rest of that. Very, very well made. 2000, the year 2000, looks like Jada Pinkett has found weaves. Will and Jada welcomed daughter Willow in October of 2020. She pursued music like the rest of her family and co-hosts the Red Table Talk with her mom. Willow is a carbon copy of Will Smith. It's a shame she looks like her father. It is what it is. 2013, the Girls Trip actress made waves in April of 2013 when she addressed rumors that she and Will have an open relationship. Quote, I think people get that idea because Will and I are very relaxed with one another, she told HuffPost Live. But I have always told Will, you can do whatever you want as long as you can look at yourself in the mirror and be okay. Jada later declined on several occasions that the two are swingers, as Jada's hair gets short again. 2015, split speculation plagued the air repeatedly through the years, but the Grammy winner had enough. In August of 2015, under normal circumstances, I don't usually respond to foolishness because it's contagious. But so many people have extended to me their, quote, deepest condolences that I figured, what the hell, I can be foolish too, he wrote via Facebook. So in the interest of redundant, repetitious, and over again-ness, Jada and I are not getting a divorce. Okay, her hair got a little longer there. 2018, Will surprised fans in July of 2018 when he revealed on Title's Rap Radar podcast that he and Jada do not say they are married anymore. The Oscar nominee elaborated that they, quote, refer to themselves as life partners, where you get into a space where you realize that you are literally with somebody for the rest of your life. There's no deal breakers. There's nothing she could do ever. Nothing that would break our relationship. She has my support till death, and it feels so good to get that space. She doesn't look too pleased about that. 2020, the bomb dropped. August Alsina claimed that in June of 2020 he had an affair with Jada, for which Will gave his blessing. Okay. However, a different World alum retorted in July 2020 that she got into an entanglement with the rapper without her husband's blessing during a period when they were separated in 2015. The Smiths hashed out the debacle during an episode of Red Table Talk, revealing that they ultimately reconciled after starting to communicate again. She noted that the pair have, quote, really gotten to that new place of unconditional love, as now Jada has no hair. It's really sad. 2021, finally, after shaving her head in July, the Gotham alum said that her husband was fully on board with the new look. Stop the cap. He loves it. Stop the cap, she told Tiffany Haddish during a September episode of the Red Table Talk, adding that Will even texted a photo of his wife to Willow. He was like, stunning. Jada said she decided to go bald after too many years of dealing with the added stress of hair care. It was just time, she explained. I was just ready for that kind of expression and release. I'm so glad I did it. It was such a beautiful experience and such a freedom. I feel more connected to myself and to that great divine and to the great divine in a very special way. So we're going to skip to the last thing. 2021. She had Gwyneth Paltrow on the Red Table Talk and discussed her and Will's bedroom fun. Oh boy. You also brought something up that I think is supremely important, and that is the idea of accountability. Smith said that we have to be able to speak up when things aren't going well, but that level of accountability that actually bleeds through the entire life. Obviously, Jada Pinkett went on to spill the quote-unquote tea to Gwyneth Paltrow about their bedroom fun. And that's pretty, that's pretty much the size of it. So it appeared that Will Smith had gotten past the whole August Alsina thing, but now Jada is back doing the rounds, talking about their bedroom life. Let's not get specific here. Let me go around the panel, and I just want to get your opening salvo on Will Smith and Jada Pinkett's relationship. EO, I'm going to start with you. What are your thoughts initially?
All right. Okay, so I was married when in my 20s, and my wife and I at the time, we got married for all the wrong reasons. At that particular time, I would even say that she proposed, she bought my ring. Wow. It was like a reverse. It was a reversal. It was like everything I was supposed to do traditionally, she did. She put, almost $100,000 down on a house that I wanted. I mean, she was a well-to-do woman. We had a great time. We should have never gotten married, though. There was one thing that she would always say after sex to me. She would say, if only the rest of our relationship could be this good. Okay. So, and what I'm saying is, if she were to be asked the question, well, how's the sex with EO? She ain't going to say, oh, he just doesn't read my mind.
Right.
Okay. Right. She's going to tell the truth and say, hey, we may not get along. I hate that man. Secretly, I love him, but I hate his fucking, the way he is. I can't get my way with him. But in the area of sex, we don't have a problem. I will say this, in every relationship, according to how I teach on my channel and in this business, is that the man has to lead it all. Right. So he has to lead the dating. He has to lead casual dating into potential relationship, whether it's monogamous or non-monogamous, and even in the marriage. Keep in mind something, even if you're in an open relationship, guys, you still dictate what goes on in that relationship. That's 100%. Yeah. I've had situations where I knew people that were in open relationships, and the person ran it by the guy and said, hey, I'm thinking about seeing this guy. And he said no. The reason why that person would say no is because he's protecting his investment too. When you have a relationship, whether it's open or non, you have to protect that investment at all times. So if you're never going to let her just go wherever, you always have to have oversight over everything. So given how open and free she is with her expression,
Jesus.
She's like, oh, I want to be open for my expression and the divine energy, and I look like a Mighty Morphin Power Ranger and shit. and I just look at it this way. It's like he dropped the ball there. She should not, if he was in charge and leading that relationship, whether it's open or not, whether they're swingers or not, she should not be talking like that.
Right.
Okay. So I know for a fact he's not leading that relationship. And by the fact that he says, I mean, of course, anybody can say, hey, we're in this to the death. The word divorce doesn't exist in our world. You got a problem there, Will. You got a big problem there. So in summary, if you're leading the relationship, that means you're leading the entire relationship. You're leading how you have to train her how to speak, how to represent you. I mean, this is a big figure in Hollywood. I mean, this is like a $25 million a man movie.
Yes,
guy,
yes.
And he's not like some B actor. This is an A-list actor, and you're out here talking about he should be able to read my mind. That tells me they're not very good communicators as well. Okay. I mean, there's a lot of problems in that opening statement. So I'll start with that the man has to lead everything. The first date, the second date, the 20th date. If there's going to be a relationship, it's nothing she's going to pressure you into. He's got to make that decision. He's got to elevate her if he sees fit. Every single interaction has to have the man's primary involvement.
I agree. It's almost like his imprint. BOA, what are your thoughts on the Will Smith, Jada Pinkett quote unquote relationship?
All right, I'll quickly tackle this in two parts.
Okay.
First, let's talk about the intimacy aspect of it.
Okay.
When you really think about intimacy with a woman has a physical preference. We all have a physical preference. Right. Now, is that to say that she won't open her legs to somebody else? Oh, hell no. If she get hot enough, she'll go to the store and buy something that ain't attached to nobody. So that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is Will knew for a fact that woman's thing was Tupac. He knew it. Even now, she reads the man poems and cries while she's reading them shits.
Unbelievable, man.
So he knew that. So sexually, they were never going to be able to click. For two things, the personalities are different. Physically, the guys are different. But Will had the most upside. And you know what a woman's going to do. Hypergamy is not some new shit that they just came about because cats started talking about it on YouTube. It's been the thing. So it was always a friendship that she manipulated the way she needed to in order to benefit from it. She's got children out of the situation. Don't let a woman fool you into thinking that's not a gift to her. That's not a gift to you as a man. That's a gift to the woman for you to impregnate her with your seed. But let's get back into this. Secondly, when she turned it into now she's turning it back into a friendship. Somewhere along the way, she made Will buy out of the whole marriage concept of the shit. Like he don't even view her as a wife no more. She got him buying into, okay, we're not married. She got him buying into, okay, we're never gonna be divorced. She got him buying into, okay, we could just break up whenever we want to. We can. Not only does she have these so-called entanglements, but she does them in such poor taste. Like she's out at the award show hanging out with this dude, man. Like they're a fucking couple, man. You know what I'm saying? The disrespect that she shows the guy. And I tell my guys all the time, whatever a woman gives you, if you accept it, she's just going to give you more of that shit.
That's right.
And there's nothing you can do about it. Once you accept it, you can't go back and say, well, no, I'm not going to accept that. You don't have the balls to go back on it because you don't have the balls to not accept it in the first place. And one final thing I'll say, man, is that this shit is breaking Will down mentally, man. I'm telling you, man, I wouldn't be surprised, man. That bra come up, man. Her ass might come up missing. That man gonna snap in a minute, man, because he's just been dealing with it for so long. But it's one thing to deal with it behind closed doors. But when the woman starts bringing it to the forefront, and she's so very disrespectful with the way she puts it out there, man. No regard for this man. No regard for his reputation. No regard for the friendships and relationships he's built as a man in Hollywood. It's some terrible shit to look at, man. I'm telling you, Will probably, I ain't gonna say it, man, but
he's probably feeling
a little pimp hand from time to time would have helped out a whole lot, man.
Hey, he's aging too, man. Very quickly. Like he look like Obama out there right now.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, right. You remember Obama on day one when he left the White House, dude?
Yeah,
he aged about a half a century, right? Lucario, what are your thoughts on the Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith relationship here?
Yeah, I think, one of the things I think, I was thinking about, I'm thinking about all the stuff that happened from before up until now and all the things that she said, all the things that he's come out and said. And even before all of that, you got to understand that Will and Jada are a business also.
Right. Okay.
And they're celebrities and they're actors. So a lot of the stuff that they could be doing within all of this, we don't necessarily know all of the specifics. So the only thing we know is what they're showing us,
okay,
and what they're saying and what they're talking about. So meaning that there's other things that could be happening behind the scenes that we don't necessarily know. So we don't know the intentions of what's actually going on. So, and I say that because I've been in the television industry before. And I've been on, several reality shows. I've been on Fox News. I've been on Anderson Cooper show. And the thing that they do a lot is, especially when it's a big show and it's, going out to millions of people, when they have talk shows, like for example, with the, Jada show, whatever, the Red Table Talk, they usually have the questions and the answers already pre-planned. So a lot of this is not off the cuff. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of times, because they're marketing a certain thing, they're going to put a certain, thing out there. So this is what I'm saying, where you also got to look at it from that angle, because what I find funny is that when Jada came out with this Red Table Talk stuff, it was basically a show about, let's be real, let's talk about relationships and yada, yada, yada. The thing that came out with August Alsina seemed like it was a surprise of something that wasn't supposed to come out, and they were trying to do damage control. And even right now, Jada is trying to do damage control of what she just said, because she actually just came out with a statement and said, I never said that our bedroom situation is messed up. That's
right. That's exactly right. Right.
Now, but also too, what I also find interesting is Will Smith just came out and said he had thoughts of suicide. Right?
Yeah.
Which is funny that he said I had thoughts of suicide literally right after comes out with Jada, and he's coming out with a book saying, I'm going to be telling all of the things that's been going on in my mind and in my life in this book. So all I'm saying is that a lot of this stuff can just be orchestrated just to sell books and sell things because they're still a business.
Okay.
So all I'm saying is that, because even Will Smith came out and they finally came out to say they were in an open relationship, even though they were hinting about it for years, they finally came out and said it. Will said, I want a harem of 20 women. They've been doing all this other stuff now that it's been coming out. And I think that happened because of the August Alsina thing. They said, well, fuck it, we're just going to come out with it.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is that there's another side of it that could be going on that we might not necessarily know about. So that's my take on that.
Okay, very good. Hotep. What's your take? That's a tough act to follow there.
Well, remind me to come back to my conspiracy theory, but I just want to start off by saying shout out to a real man.
Okay.
Jada Pinkett Smith. Shout out to a real man. Shout out to a real N-word.
Right.
She has been a really strong man in that relationship.
Yep.
Now, I don't know if people know this, but when Will Smith was doing Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, he started dating Jada Pinkett at the time. And she was the one that advised him and said, if you really want to excel in Hollywood, these people have to be able to take you serious for serious roles, such as, Independence Day that he would later acquire, right? And she told him you had to stop doing these silly roles so people can take you serious. The reason why I brought that up is because Coach EO is right. Will was never leading that relationship.
Okay.
Jada was. Jada was the man in that relationship. Will tried to be a man in that relationship. I'm sure he tried his best. But Jada's pretty thorough. She's a pretty thorough chick. If you've ever seen her movies or seen her talk,
set it off.
Set it off. She from Baltimore. She a hood chick.
Yeah,
that's why she was into people like Tupac. She a hood chick. So you got a guy like Will Smith. I wouldn't call him a square, but he's not exactly like thug. You know what I mean? He's not like the thug, abrasive type.
Sure.
Kind of gonna go along and get along. He's actually a Libra like myself. And I think what she found in him was he was able to balance her and give her a structure as many women need. And I think he's very intellectual in that aspect as well, which leads me to the conspiracy theory.
Okay.
What if this is all done to push book sales?
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, what is everybody going to do? They're going to go out and they're going to go get this book because they want to know what's going on with Will and Jada's relationship.
Right.
So this thing is going number one. It probably was going to go number one regardless, but he probably just added on 10 million in sales just from all these, situations. So that's my conspiracy theory, and Marin. Shout out to a real nigga, Jada Pinkett Smith. Salute, homie.
Kevin, what you got, man? Not much. I don't know. Not much meat left on the bone for you.
No, definitely not. That's what blows about being last. You guys made great points. I guess where we left off was the idea that this is just done as a publicity stunt to push books.
Okay.
I don't know how I feel about that because it seems like it, in a way, still really tarnishes Will's reputation. I think for the most part in the red pill community, anytime these two come back in the spotlight with a piece like this, with like this exploitation piece about how Jada said some more disrespectful shit that doesn't uphold her man the way that she should. Right. We know how it perfectly fits into our conversation. But I think the main reason it piques everybody's interest is it's a real, if we're to believe what they're telling us is true, it's a real gut-wrenching red pill that's being forced down the throats of guys that don't even really think in a red pill aware way because you guys are a little bit older. I don't know how much older you guys are, like compared to Will. I mean, I'm young enough that Will is like the father figure to my generation.
Oh yeah. Oh no. See, we remember when Will Smith was the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Right. No, and I do too. But he's like a father figure to our generation. Sure. So that's like seeing the father figure torn up, made into memes, crying in public next to his liberated table talk, red table talking ass wife. This red table talk has been like fucking disastrous. Yep. I think a lot of people look at this and they go, damn, all I ever really aspired to be is a high value, successful man so that I could have myself a partner that'll ride and die with me, kind of like this, that Jada and that Will love. I don't know why these two have always been looked at and viewed as this perfect picture of the perfect Hollywood relationship everybody should aspire to have. I don't really know why that's the case, but to see that fall apart makes a lot of men feel like, damn, if you can't even be Will Smith and succeed with a woman, then no one has any kind of shot. But just like everybody else touched on, at the end of the day, whether they're playing us for book sales or this is the real deal, it's just no way to talk about your spouse publicly. It just seems like Kevin said the other night, Kevin Samuel said the other night, it just seems like you have a massively successful man and you have a woman that can't be in the tabloids and can't be brought into the spotlight since she hardly does shit unless she exposes more private shit about her husband. And that's just not a fucking proper thing to do.
I'll put it to you this way. This is my take on this. Will Smith's name is Willard Carroll Smith Jr. Jada's name is Jada Pinkett, right? This goes right down to what Hotep said. You can take the bitch out the hood. You cannot take the hood out the bitch. What this comes down to is Jada Pinkett, she's a hood rat. That's all she is. She is a glorified hood rat. Okay, she caught a break and basically played herself on a different world. But Jada doesn't belong in Will's world. And unfortunately for Will, he was too young to figure out that you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. Honestly, Jada Pinkett is still crying over a nigga who got shot and killed 25 years ago. 25 years ago. She is still alpha widowed by Tupac. At that point, Will Smith did not have the requisite experience nor the foresight to understand that he could never, ever live up to what Tupac was in Jada's mind. And get this, Will Smith has made more money than Tupac had ever dreamed of making because we all knew that Suge Knight was either going to get rich off of Tupac or he was going to end up killing him. And he ended up killing him allegedly, right? But on the other side of that, I think I agree with a little bit of what Lucario says because I don't think any of us here thinks that Will Smith ain't smashing other bitches on the side. He's Will fucking Smith. Ain't no way a dude with Will Smith's net worth and his clout is gonna really cry over some short head feminist hood rat bitch for trying to clown him on TV. Maybe it hurts his feelings a little bit, but you got to understand, it's just like Lucario said, these people are actors, okay? And the meme of Will Smith sitting there looking at Jada with tears in his eyes, I think I actually saw the same facial expression as Chris Gardner in Pursuit of Happiness. Matter of fact, it was the scene where he was in the bathroom with his little boy because they didn't have no place to stay. The dude is banging on the door trying to get out, and he's sitting there with that same look on his face. I'm not saying that Will Smith doesn't feel some type of way about this. His wife is out here disrespecting him in the worst ways possible. And let's just keep it real. Jada Pinkett is an ain't shit bitch. Like, that's nothing against her. But look, I'm serious. This is what happens, fellas. This is why we teach what we teach. You cannot and should not take a bitch out the hood or the trailer park and try to have her assimilate herself into this life. Okay, Jada still looks kind of good. I mean, she is 50, but the only reason why she looks the way she does is because she has money, right? Without Will, she is nothing, but for whatever reason, she still thinks that she's bigger than Will. I think there's a little bit of both coming into play. I think Jada Pinkett probably understands that Will Smith has a harem of 50 or 60 white girls because he's a global superstar. And Jada's like, you know what? I want to get some clout for myself. So I'm going to talk about, I don't know, fucking this rapper who's half our age, who we basically raised. I'll try to make a fool out of Will. And you want to know something? Will's probably on the phone. You know what? All right, fuck it. Listen, man, like, I'm good. I got my 28 bitches. I'll do your little red table talk and I'll make myself look stupid, give you a little bit of clout. But by the same token, this is a woman he has supposedly loved for a long time. He has children with. So I think there's a little bit of both at play. That's what my take is on it.
I mean, I want to put some respect on Jada's name real fast.
Do it.
So I spoke about how she was the alpha male in a relationship, but can we also give props to her for sniffing out the highest paid
real talk
to become the highest paid actor in the history of Hollywood?
It was before he was the highest paid, though.
She was. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, she sniffed it out.
She knew. Yeah. She groomed him for it.
She groomed him for it. Correct. Mm-hmm. And she saw the potential and said, "I can get this guy." And you got to remember, she was still semi-successful as an actress, right?
Right.
She had a lot of great roles. Okay. Was she going to be Will Smith? No, but she knew that. And the hypergamy in her kicked in, and she locked in her future with the highest paid actor. So I just love the fact that she was able to balance her masculine with her feminine and dominate that man.
Hey, real quick. Real talk. Do not
Yeah.
knock a skilled
I'll go after you,
hustler.
Bio.
I am not mad at Jada for having to come up. Listen, this is what women do. Go ahead, BOA. Go ahead.
You know, in a perfect world, that would be terrific. But let's all keep in mind that she latched on to that man because she knew, being where she was from and where he's from, his ass was going to be easy to control.
Yes. Oh, wow.
So, yeah, he could have a harem of bras if he was one of us, but he gave his balls to this broad a long time ago. His masculinity is low as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's why he got a documentary trying to get in shape and shit, man. We'll look like shit, man, on that documentary. He looks like his testosterone is low as fuck. Yeah, and so he probably doesn't have a harem of bras to fuck. You know, I really believe, man, that Will is in worse shape, man, than we give credit for, but it's because he's paid. When you're paid, I don't give a fuck what kind of shape you're in. You can kind of put on the front like you're doing pretty good.
Sure.
But just when you look at a man physically and he starts to look unhealthy, you can't fake that shit.
We were talking about this before I get to EO. Yeah. We were talking about this backstage before we went on the air. Will Smith looks like he's aged about a decade or so. EO, what you got, man?
I will say this real quick. Money can't buy sex appeal. Okay, just know this right now. No amount of money can, if she's not sexually attracted to you, she'll enjoy your money, she'll enjoy the lifestyle, but she'll still be daydreaming about a dude that fucked her on a twin size bed in the hood somewhere. Okay, and that's just the honest to God truth. Okay, no, I'm just being honest. That's the honest to God fact. Now, I think she finds Will dorky, and if you look at Will, he is dorky. But if you put his ass with Karen right now, let's say he gets some balls up and says, "Hey, you know what? We raised our kids. We had our run. It was dope. Move on to the next thing. I'm moving on." Let's say for example, he goes and dates a Karen right now. He's gonna be the shit, possibly to that Karen, possibly. So I'm just telling you right now, she sees him as a dork. I don't believe she finds him sexy at all. And really, if you pay attention to him when they're sitting on their private jets and shit, he's got his hat backwards. He looks like he's still singing his old rap music and shit. Like he just has that dorky look. Just remember my rhymes and get the hell away. That's what he looks like, man. So I'm just saying he doesn't seem like he grew up with her. Yeah. He looks mature in roles. He plays that role, but when he's with her, he looks docile, he looks submissive. And I'm gonna tell you right now, no amount of money can buy sex appeal.
I agree with that. Go ahead, Lucario. Go ahead.
I was gonna say also we got to keep in mind that they've been together for over 25 years. So when you're with somebody for that long, generally you get to a point in your relationship, because even in a lot of monogamous relationships, you get to a point where you get so used to the person you're with, it's not the same type of energy. So even necessarily the thing that Jada was saying about, you know, supposedly their sex life, that actually happens in real life. I understand that from the perspective of the public, they're looking at it like, yo, why are you saying all that stuff? Why are you putting your private stuff public? You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, again, I go back to what I was saying before, we still don't necessarily know why they're doing it. And what I also question too is this, right? With when we go back to the August Alsina situation, right? Think about it this way. He was on the Red Table Talk looking all distraught and like he's about to cry or whatever. Right. But if you're in an open relationship, you would have known that that was happening, which is why the kid, August Alsina, said he gave me his blessing because he knew it was happening. But the problem is that Will and Jada seem like they're caught between living their life and having to also be the business. So now they're going back and forth, flip-flopping, you know, trying to put out a public image, but also, you know, living their real lives. You see what I'm saying? So this is why a lot of it is so murky. So this is why it's kind of hard to just say, well, man, Will Smith, he's, you know, this way and that way. And I get it. But at the same time, if I would listen, if I was getting paid, like, let's say I wasn't me, I didn't know all this information. Okay. And mind you, the mainstream media doesn't know the information we know. You understand what I'm saying? Like the stuff we teach guys, they don't know this stuff.
Yeah, they make sure we don't know.
Right. So I don't know this stuff. And somebody says, hey man, listen, you know, I'm your publicist and your manager. You and your wife are going to stay together because you make more money this way. She's going to say these things and you're just going to kind of like do your thing so we can make more money. And also understand that women are the highest, they buy the most things in society. You see what I'm saying? So this is why Jada could be the villain and it doesn't matter, because when women are looking at Jada, women generally don't take accountability anyway. Right. So they're not going to necessarily look at Jada as, you know, messed up too much. They'll be like, oh, that's kind of messed up, but you know, whatever. Right. But if Will did the thing that Jada did, if Will said the same stuff, if Will said, man, my sex life sucks and my wife is kind of whatever, everybody would have crucified him. And then that would have stopped the money. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So you got to understand it from that dynamic too. You know what I mean?
So two things that happen with that relationship. My bad, homie. Two things that happen. Number one, inexperience. And number two, he not built for it, right? So let's talk about the inexperience. You got to remember they got together when they were young. You also got to remember he jumped to stardom at a very young age through his rap career, which did not give him much time to experience relationships, to have a few exes and run through, a few chances for his own heartbreak. Right. So, and Jada, being a woman, was always had the capability of dating up. I mean, she was dating Pac and whoever else. So she had more relationship experience than him. So she came into the relationship at the advantage, right? The second thing is, Will Smith ain't built to be cold.
No.
He's a lover boy. You know, he wants to rationalize her behavior. He wants to love her into better behavior. Right. He is not capable of cutting ties.
I'll tell you this before I go to Savo here. Men, we're not built to be cold. We're not built to be that way. Right. And we are made that way. There's no such thing as a man who goes into a relationship with no experience who can just be ice cold. No. The reason I'm ice cold in my dealings with women is because I've had my heart broken time after time after time, again and again and again.
Correct.
I mean, like we've all been through it. Women are, and this doesn't make women evil, because women are survivors. They have to be cold. They have to be calculated. And again, just like you said, shout out to Jada. She knew exactly what she was doing. She said, okay, Me and him, we're going to make cute babies. This kid is up and coming. And honestly, Jada probably, dude, she probably had to tell Will what he was capable of. Will probably didn't realize what he was capable of until he got with Jada. And it's interesting because when Jada Smith going into the relationship with Will Smith, that's the same as any female going into a relationship with any male. Any woman that we date is going to have far more experience than we do. And if they don't have the experience, they already have the know-how. A 15-year-old boy and a 15-year-old girl. Guess who's going to have the advantage in that? The 15-year-old girl. Women have advantages over men from the age of 15 all the way up until maybe 30. That's when the tide starts to turn a little bit because now she's not getting as much attention. He's starting to get more attention. But the Jada Pinkett Will Smith situation, I think, is indicative of how most relationships start. Girl meets boy. Girl sees potential in boy. Boy doesn't know his potential. Girl latches on to boy. Makes boy fall in love. Girl runs circles around boy. Boy doesn't know what to do because he can't be cold. Sava, what do you got, man?
I just wanted to add in that I think at the end of the day, and I know this conversation is going all over the place, but at the end of the day, I think what really gets under most of our skins when we hear this woman open her mouth is that I think aside from this open relationship thing, this was never like fully clear. You know, it seems like that was the case,
right? But
then you got Will crying in public and the rest of it. So I think it's safe to say, if I'm not speaking out of terms here, that most of the public is under the impression that these two are more monogamous than they are. And if that's what most of the public believe about their situation, and they're still painted in that J. Cole lyric of Jada and Will love being the love that everybody should want, I think it's really irritating the example that Jada sets for women at this Red Table Talk, because the example she sets for women is, as a married woman, it's a form of self-expression and self-love to explore other people and to cheat on your man and then to openly talk about it, because it's been forever since you felt good. And, you know, pursuing your own satisfaction and your own sexual satisfaction and your own desire always trumps what's best for your man and the reputation of the fucking legacy that he built. I think that's the main thing that upsets everybody.
I like that.
Let me throw one more little piece in there.
Go ahead, B-Way, you got it, and then we'll go to
let's not forget that Will said in the beginning he wanted a traditional relationship. Jada was the one who hadn't even seen that shit in her family before.
Right.
So this whole thing was her idea. And to be with her, he had to buy into it. That's the point where you say, okay, is this woman even valuable enough to me for me to do this?
Right.
And Will said, yes, she is.
Right.
So she mentally she was never gonna fall into this love attachment thing that Will did, but naturally, that's who Will is. So Will is caught up in an emotional trap with a woman who is not attached to him emotionally at all. Like you don't even do even if they're just friends. You don't treat your fucking friends like this publicly, man. So she has no emotional attachment to this guy at all. It's all business for her. And I think Will is struggling to make it all business for him. But he been loving that woman for 25 motherfucking years, man. You can't cut that shit off.
Wow.
He's stuck, man.
And I think, and to add to that, I think Will Smith is probably just now figuring out, oh shit, this is a business for Jada. I was doing this for love, but she seems to be doing this. You know, again, that's the inexperience. Lucario, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I was gonna say too is that to what Saga was saying was that the thing was they actually came out and said they're in an open relationship, like publicly, like Will Smith said, we are open. I want to harem with 20 women. This is what I do. They recently came out and said that, and they came out and said that after the fact. I think of when the whole thing of, because this is what they did. The August Alsina thing came out. They try to pretend she was cheating on him. You understand? To keep the idea that they were monogamous. You see what I'm saying? So Savile was right, is that they wanted to keep the monogamy sort of thing a thing, but then they probably was like, fuck it, let's just do what we do. You understand? Because they've been hinting at the open relationship. But also, I want to say this too, is that I think the thing with Jada is that she's created a show where it's almost like we're getting a sneak peek, or America's getting a sneak peek, and especially men are getting a sneak peek of how women talk about their men when they're technically not around. Because, like, for example, think about when Aisha Curry was on there. She said, I want all this attention, right? So you're thinking, damn, why she? Because people are like, yo, you're embarrassing your man. You're embarrassing Steph Curry. Why are you even saying that? So it's like she's trying to be honest, but then it's kind of like at the same time, the honesty at the same time will, quote unquote, embarrass your man. So it's like, what do? Do I lie or do I be honest? You see what I'm saying? And so it's that thing going on at the same time.
That's why women need hijabs and burqas.
Hey, Donovan, real quick point, if you don't mind, 15 seconds, real quick.
No, go ahead. You got it.
Yeah. So this week I published a video talking about that that you have to make your woman cry about twice a month.
Yes,
that you should make your woman cry.
Damn right.
Okay. Now, why did I say that? I say that because women need drama, and if you're not intentionally starting a fire. Okay, you know your woman. You know what makes her tick. You know, okay, she's been too happy for the last 7 days.
Yep.
So it's inevitable by the 8th day, she gonna find something to talk shit about. Okay, so you get to know your woman and then you insert drama in the relationship. I'm not talking about hit her. I'm not talking about abuse her. I'm saying a little jab here and there that gets her back to sweating something, to worrying about something. Yes. When I look at those women at that table, and Lucario's right. When I look at those women, none of those women are worried about their man.
Nope.
None of those women are worried about their man. Meanwhile, a man like me, my woman is afraid of me, dude.
Goddamn right.
If your woman is not scared of you, not because you're gonna hit her. So I want to say this to the public.
Sure, of course.
Not because she's afraid you're gonna beat her ass. Nothing like that. I'm talking about a healthy fear of disrespecting you. Okay. If she doesn't feel like that, all your women out there, guys, are going to be like them women over there on at that red round table. So I'm telling you right now, you better be that dude that inserts the drama in the relationship, that gives her something to worry about, that gives her something to sweat. Because if you don't, I promise you, I guarantee it, she will find something outside of you to get her attention, to make her feel like she needs to sweat and worry about something. And that's when you get these problems.
She needs to sweat losing you, because if she don't sweat losing you, then she'll stop trying to earn you. It really troubles people that this red table talk, the women sitting around the table are all with high value men. Now imagine if you ain't shit. What is your woman saying?
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh, man.
Shameless plug, man. I got a great piece of content on the channel, man, called Charisma. The key to being respected, feared, and desired. Woo! You guys should go check that out, man. Everything we're covering, everything we just covered at the beginning of this show is discussed in detail from my perspective. And I'm sure you can go to every man on here channel and find any information you want about what we're talking about tonight. Because, I mean, we're giving to y'all for free, man. This shit is really to be sold, not told. So, we just blessing the world right now.
What's the name of that video again, BOA?
Charisma. The key to being respected, feared, and desired.
Yeah, Dev, if you would, find that video and put that link in the chat, because I'd like to watch that myself. Always can brush up on game. I got a really good question for the panel. Let me read these super chats first. Dr. Thunder, $5, says, all hail to the 6, paying my respects. Let's go. Carlos R, $2, says, I appreciate all the game, fellas. Appreciate that very much. Mr. Shane Vicious, $2, says, fellas, don't clean up after thugs. It will be an L. Wow. Afi Kingdom is in the house. $10 says, salute, gentlemen. Donovan, my bro, Dr. BOA, Coach EO Hotep, Mr. Lucario, Kevin Savo, sending positive energy to you all. Will, guys just need to learn to charge women. I love women in love. No way, Jose. Mr. Shane Vicious, $2 says, at least Hillary could keep quiet. Dude, real talk. Because Hillary knew which side her bread was buttered on. Fear to No One with the $5 super sticker with the hippos. Ozzy with the $5 Australian says, Americans obsessed with movie stars. It's Hollywood, smoke and mirrors. Listen, art a lot of times imitates life. Trevor Ruth, I can't imagine he's...
You can make a lesson out of anything.
Oh, you better believe it. Whether it's scripted or not, it doesn't matter. Will Smith smashing this fine British singer named Sona Riel. He's getting his, don't worry. I've seen this Sona Riel. I don't know if that's how you say her name, but she looks good. KO, $5 says, you lost me when your own daughter is crying over a dead Tupac that she never met. Man. John JTO 1, welcome to chat privileges. JTO John $10 says, when WS said I can love you through anything and she didn't reciprocate, you knew it was over before it started. Then Devin had a really, really good comment. She said take a look at the state of their children. That should tell you what kind of marriage they have. Willow Smith she's on the Red Table Talk, talking about vaginas and vulvas and clitorises with her mother and her grandmother. How fucked up is that?
Because it's healthy.
Oh, Jesus.
Healthy to have this open discussion.
Yes,
I actually don't mind that, but
that is, look,
as long as
how old is she?
She's like 20-something, so she's a grown woman. So
look, check it out. Check it out. I'm 44. My dad is 63. I'm not talking about cock and balls with my dad, man. I'm not doing that.
My issue is it's not exactly the topic. It's in lieu of other topics that could be discussed.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
You know what I mean?
Like, it's almost like a club.
All right, you want to talk about that nonsense, but how come usually when these people get in front of the camera, they can't talk about anything edifying, anything that can actually move society forward?
Hotep, I got an answer for you. This is a microcosm of at least American women. Look at the magazine stands. You look at the male side of magazine stands. It's fishing and game, fantasy football, sports, grooming, style, all kinds of interests. You look on the female side, how to rock him in bed. Does he like you? 5 ways to tell if he's cheating. Women, this just goes to show, men don't need women. We have all kinds of other stuff that we can do without them. This doesn't mean that we don't want them. Women need men. And it's funny, you look at the 3 generations of these Pinkett girls, they all look exactly the same. I don't know why they've all cut their hair, but Jada Pinkett's mother ruined her from the start. And we all said that they're not worried about their men. We don't even know if Willow Smith swings that way, number 1. Number 2, I doubt Jada's mother has a man in the first place. Jada's got a man, but I think her man is probably, running around on a bitch that's probably half of her age. I'm going to ask one last question to the panel. We're going to keep this one high and tight because Lacaria's got to go at 10. Who is going to, just based on everything we've seen and heard, who is going to end up living the more fulfilling life? Who in other words, who has the most potential to really sort of make a comeback in their love life, their professional life, and who doesn't? I'm going to start with EO.
I'm going to say Will Smith,
Okay.
If he can get his act together, if he can get his mind right. Look, I thought about this earlier. I was laying in bed watching the Buccaneers game, and I thought to myself, if I was an A-list actor, and this goes to Lucario's point, which was a very good point. I do believe to some degree this is happening for sure. But if my agent told me, hey, I got a grand plan, guys. You're gonna write a book, and we're gonna fucking make it a roller coaster beforehand, and you're gonna lose your balls to Jada, but then you're gonna make a comeback, and then people are gonna hate Jada momentarily, but then you're gonna salvage the whole situation at the end, and you're gonna make $10 million. You know what I'm gonna say? Fuck you. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say, you know what? Fuck you. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say. Okay, I thought about this already, and I think Lucario's point is dead on. I'll tell you this: I think he's got enough money. I think he's a smart man. I think he's made some good investments, most likely, hopefully. Yeah. I think he needs to leave this relationship, and once he relieves this relationship, his children are grown. You've done everything you need to do in this relationship. Yep. You can still see this motherfucker. You don't have to be married to her. Okay. Right. And she'll probably respect you more if you leave her ass. Go get a tattoo while you're at it. She'll probably like that shit. And I'm just bullshitting on that. So I will tell you this. I believe Will Smith, not her. I think this is her cap right here, where she's at, her little show and stuff like that. Once Will Smith removes himself from this situation and he rebuilds himself and reemerges into a different man, if that happens, I believe the sky's the limit back for Will Smith.
Very good. BOA, what do you have?
When it comes to the financial aspect of it, I don't think Will is doing any of this for money. The guy's got a $500 million net worth.
Right.
So I think he's pretty good on that. And I mean, the directors and producers in Hollywood still believe in him. Like, he's got those kind of acting chops. His spirit just isn't in it. He got a broad drain and all his spirit energy. Okay. I think Will is going to leave this broad.
Yep.
And I think he's preparing himself now, getting into the best shape of his life, letting her go over there and do her thing, detaching himself. If you notice, when Will is doing his thing, he's always off away from her doing his thing. Right. I think he's trying to detach himself from her. And let's be realistic. Who in the hell that's even at half of Will's level is going to be checking for Jada? Not just because she's old, she's already beyond the wall, but because she's such just a calculated ass witch type of broad. Like, look at the things, just the way she's presenting herself. This is shit is going to come back to haunt her. Will is her safe haven, her rest haven right now.
Yep.
She's protected from everything because she's in the fortress that Will built.
Yep.
When Will pull that shit away, man, that she gonna be in bad shape, bro.
Real talk.
That shit she doing right now, that's it. I'll give you one example. Michael Jordan, worth $300 million. Left Juanita, the kids are grown. This is a man who had a plan.
Yep.
Okay, we got the boys. They're grown. They're off in college. I got $300 million. I give you 150. No need to fight. No need to do none of that shit because I got a plan that's going to make me a billionaire.
There it is. And he did. And
And
upgraded in the wife
and
department.
all Will has to do is have one person in his ear constantly telling him, bro, she treating you like shit, dog. Like, you got to do something, man. You're Will Smith, homie.
Right.
Let me have a talk with Will. I guarantee you he'll come out of that shit with a different mindset.
I'll tell you what.
If I got to box him or whatever.
Somebody get Will Smith on the phone with BOA now.
That's right. That's right.
So that's my take on it, man. I do believe that eventually Will Smith is going to distract himself from this, man, and we're gonna watch this woman do, what all women do at that point when they're older and alone and they don't have access to a man and his money anymore.
They self-destruct. They self-destruct. Lucario, I mean, which is this Jada's cap? Does Will have a chance? I mean, who has the advantage here moving forward?
I mean, out of them two, definitely Will, because the thing is, and I agree with what EO was saying, is that the man has to be the one to orchestrate the relationship. So I think Will's biggest problem is that it's not that they're in an open relationship, is that he wasn't the one to be the one to say this is what it's going to be. He just followed her. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
But whether it was open, non-monogamous, whatever, or monogamous, whatever, the fact that he was following her, that was already his first mistake. And then also, too, I saw an interview once where he was talking about how when he was young, I think his parents or somebody in his family, they broke up or whatever. And he always said to himself, I don't want to break up a family and I want to keep a family together. So because of his past trauma, part of him wants to stay with Jada no matter what. You understand what I'm saying? So I think that's also part of it too. But I think that the thing with Will Smith is, I think Will Smith is so loved that he gets sympathy from, because I've been looking online and people have been like, man, poor Will, and Will needs to leave her, and free Will, and all this other. So people love this guy. So I think no matter what, he's gonna find a way, to do what he has to do. I think with Jada, I think the problem with her is, I think just in general, from what I'm seeing, just objectively, she does have a lot of masculine energy. You understand what I'm saying? So, like what BOA is saying, she definitely got that type of, you know what I mean? Like, because us guys, when we know when you deal with certain women, you can tell the type of women who have that aggressive masculine energy. And usually those type of women can sort of run the show with guys who are a little bit more laid back. Because I wouldn't necessarily say Will is weak, but he seems a little bit too passive. And I feel like guys who are really passive like him get run by women like Jada. So, that's what I'm doing.
Okay, Hotep. Who's got the advantage moving forward? Is it Will or is it Jada?
I'm going to go with Jada.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Jada.
All right. We have
because you got to study history. And history says that she's the more calculated one. Okay. Right? Now, here's the situation with Will. Will, if he is going to win, he has to become a serial dater after this relationship.
Yes.
Not only that, he's got to go around with all the high profile chicks and be a complete hoe. Okay. Because he's never had a chance to really experience the power of hoeing with the amount of money that he has. Because he's been tied to Jada and he's been tied to a career. I believe the career has, you don't become as successful as Will Smith chasing hoes.
Right. Of course not.
You just don't. Not. That's how I know he never was doing it.
Okay.
He needs to take a break and get some experience dating many different types of women. He's immature in a relationship. He's basically a 20-year-old in a relationship level. Okay. He's stuck in his 20s. So he needs to evolve into a 30, 40-year-old man by dating other women. That's the only thing that's going to help him. What I think is the deal with Jada is she's cold and calculated. So I think she's going to snag somebody. Whether that will be happy is a whole nother story. Yeah. I think Will Smith has a higher likelihood of having a happy relationship. Okay. And I think that when Will finds I think his next serious relationship will be the right woman for him. Will also has to stop dating women he loves.
Yes.
He needs to start dating women that love him. If you love the woman more than she loves you, you done lost.
That's right.
It's a wrap. She looking at the next guy. She's over you. She's like, oh, job done. So he has to start dating women that are really into him and only him, and he's not really into. And that's the woman he can settle down with and have a great relationship. But Jada, too cold, too calculated. She gonna get young. She can get a young boy. She can get a old man. Whatever it is, her hypergamy game is elite. So I'm betting on Jada.
Okay.
Hey, Hotep. He needs to go get that Derek Jeter game, bro.
Oh,
word.
Yeah. Derek Jeter had that.
He does. He needs to holler at Derek Jeter after all this is over.
Yeah, like look at Diddy, right? Like Diddy. He's such a savage. He dates his son's exes.
Yes. The dude is a badass.
This is how savage this guy is. Now I'm not saying be that savage because I'm damn sure not going to be that
pretty goddamn savage. Shout out to Unique79 with the $13.67 Cash App. Says Will Smith needs Uncle Phil.
I would, damn. Yo, that's a good point though.
Man.
Yeah, that's
what if Uncle Phil? Because he was like a father figure to him in real life.
Yes, sir. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Man, he really does.
Man,
need Uncle Phil.
He could have helped him out in this situation. That's a good
Savo, who has the advantage? Is it Will or is it Jada?
No, I say it's Will because Will's got, I believe, a lot of movies left in him. I think Will's going to go on to be, a Stallone, a De Niro. I think he's going to be doing powerful performances in his 70s.
Okay.
And it seems the way Jada's going is she's reached this point where she doesn't do much. She doesn't do much acting. She doesn't get great roles. And in this social justice warrior, feminist society we got going on right now, she's finding her place more in the social arena of talking shit that almost borders on divorce porn-esque conversation, of female empowerment, of the empowerment of outing your relationship, leaving your man. This seems to be where she's headed. Now, number one, it's not a really positive place, I think, for a woman to be. I know you can make money doing it. I know you can have your show. I know you can do books. And if she ever splits up with Will, then she'll date another thug rapper. And it's like, wow, look at her. She's 50, but she's still getting the young guys. And that is going to be her legacy, whereas Will is still going to do the movies, okay? He's still going to make big money. And Jada's place, it seems, is going to be always in the media for saying outrageous shit that fucking fired up, full of piss and vinegar bitches like herself want to hear. I just think that's the route it's going to go. Do another movie, bitch. You know what I mean? Like, dude, why don't you go do a fucking fantastic movie? Like, prove you're actually a bad bitch. And then just sit around and talk about private business within your fucking family life.
Well, that's just it, Kevin. No one is. I mean, Jada Pinkett is not a bankable star anymore. I don't know. I guess she sort of, she was on the coattails.
She did Girls Trip.
Was she in Poetic Justice?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who did she play in Poetic Justice? That was Janet, right?
Oh, that was
Janet
Jackson. That was Janet Jackson.
It was Janet Jackson. So who was Jada?
Right. She was in Set It Off, and she was in a bunch of
Jason's lyrics.
I can set it off.
Kevin
he was in The Matrix.
Kevin Samuels said that the other night. I think he was wrong about that.
Yeah, man.
Hey, don't forget Scream, man. Don't forget Scream. She got fucked up in Scream.
Oh yeah. Right.
Oh
yeah.
So basically, man, she's either a hood classic actress or a fucking B-list actress. Then
I mean,
she's definitely hood classic.
If you get killed in a movie, your ass is B-list.
That's it.
Unless you get killed at the end of that bitch. You know what I'm saying?
The bottom line is the rest of
she
her
got
money,
killed at the beginning too.
The rest of her money and the rest of her fame is going to come from running her mouth publicly. Whereas whether Will stays with her or not, he's still going to be getting his money for his profession.
Well, that's what women do usually at the tail end of their career. Like you look at Whoopi, they usually end up talking because that's what women do best. They talk. Real quick, I want to address the money situation with Will. The book sales aren't about money. If anybody's ever read Ted Kaczynski's paper,
no, I have not. I've heard it was fascinating, actually.
Oh, amazing work. I strongly advise you to read it.
Okay.
Industrial Society and Its Future.
Shit, man.
He talks about the fact that in industrial society, men still have this anxiety because we no longer have to go and fish and hunt, and it's not being fulfilled by, doing whatever it is that men do for a living. Yeah. It comes back to the fact that, like we said, money is not an object to Will, but he was still suicidal. So what does that say? You become jaded to certain things. Yeah. Once you get it, it doesn't matter to you anymore. So as a man, you're still looking for the next challenge.
Sure.
And I think that people still fear failure, especially as a man.
Okay.
So book sales aren't about the money. It's about saying, I can do this.
Okay. It's almost another mountain to
and I
climb,
want to
right?
do it at a high level, especially this being his first book. It's more of the challenge.
Yeah.
It's not really about the money.
Will Smith likes taking on those challenging roles. I remember when he took on the role of Ali, he was fantastic in that. Like he almost had to be a method actor to be able to pull that off. My thoughts on this is, I agree with EO. This is Jada's cap. This is the most clout Jada is ever going to have. In terms of the dating life, Jada's done. Listen, and this is funny. This is the reason why Instagram models go after rookies in the NBA, because rookies don't know any better. They don't have any experience. They don't try to run that game on a guy like LeBron James or a Joe Johnson or a Kyrie or a Kevin Durant, because those dudes know what's really up. Well, Jada might be able to fool some dude like August Alsina to, fuck her for a little while. And listen, I would imagine she's still sexually attractive. She should probably grow her hair, but it's over for Jada. She's worth $50 million. She can retire and this and that and the other. But like most women who end up like her, she is going to end up alone. She's going to end up miserable. Nobody is going to be checking for Jada. The only time dudes are going to be checking for Jada is if they're looking for clout. No one knew who the fuck August Alsina was until he started fucking with Jada. Will Smith, if he can get his head out of his ass, the sky is the limit. He's Will fucking Smith. He's only 53 years old. He could make movies until the day he dies. Like BOA said, man, if he can just get his ass into shape, and like Hotep said, find another mountain to climb. He's worth $500 million. It's not about the money for him. As men, he's like, imagine never having to worry about money again at 53 years old. And so you're thinking to yourself, now what? Like, what am I going to do anything for? I'm set for life. I'm set for, 20 generations. What do I do? And that's probably where the suicidal ideation came from, because he's like, I've done it all. I've had a wife and kids, and I've got the successful acting career. It's almost like he doesn't have a purpose. If he can find another, if he can separate himself from Jada, pay her off, give her $250, I don't give a shit. Just get her out of your life. If he can get out from under the Jada Pinkett and all of her bullshit, if he can get out of that, sky's the limit for Will. At that point, he'll upgrade from Juanita Jordan, like Michael did with Yvette Pierto. Like, his wife is a bad bitch, and I think Will could probably have a slew of bad bitches as well. Okay. So I'm gonna go around the panel. Please make your closing remarks and tell the people where they can find you. EO, lead us off, man.
Yeah, you know what? You mind if I read something real quick? I read this the other day, and I want to read it to the audience real quick. And this is something that could translate over to Will Smith. It's actually by Dr. Phil, and it's called The 4 Stages of Readiness for Change.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and I found this brilliant. I heard him say it on a show recently. And the first stage 1 is compelled by authority to change. Okay, that's number 1. So you're compelled by authority. Stage 2 is comply to escape criticism. It's when everybody expects you to do it, so you fulfill their expectations. Okay, so that's number 2. Stage 3, which Dr. BOA alluded to this, that he's getting ready to make his decision. So he might be at stage 3 right now, which is intellectually aware of the need for change. Okay, so intellectually it's starting to hit home. And number 4, which is the final stage, is mentally and emotionally self-motivated by change. So you no longer need outside influence or coercion or motivation to change. You've hit you're fucking done, and that's it. So that's just something I wanted to read real quick. And hopefully Will Smith gets there. Okay, I'm Coach EO. You can find me on YouTube. Just search Coach EO. My website is championgamecoaching.com. I'm always introducing new series. I have a popular series called Killing the Simp, which season 3 begins December 15th. I also have a pretty popular series called Leading the Relationship. It's a spinoff on LTR, which I call Leading the Relationship. So that's me. Good to be back with these men. Good to have Lucario here. Haven't seen him in a little bit. And thank you so much.
Excellent. Thank you, EO. BOA.
I was just thinking about how we've all said that she can move forward with this talking thing, but what the fuck is she gonna talk about? Right. The only reason we talking about her ass now because she's attached to Will Smith.
Right.
If Will leaves her, I mean, what's she gonna talk about? She's been like Will Smith's wife for 25 fucking years. She has nothing else. Her children are grown. We already know they're nuts. So I mean, shit is, man. You know, it's really gonna affect her in a negative manner, and I think it should, because the way she's behaving with that man, I really don't give a shit what the reason is.
Okay.
You know, the way she is interacting with the world on behalf of herself, as if she's a separate entity from Will, and I just think that there's something should befall her because of this. Because if it was a man doing this shit with his woman, we think the same thing. Damn, man, why he taking his woman down through there like that? She been there with him all this goddamn time, helping him build his shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I say this, man. This is a cautionary tale for especially you young men out here. But some of you older men as well still caught up in that young guy mindset when it comes to women. Three things that you got to remember. If you're not her type, keep your fucking feelings out of it and put her ass to work.
Okay.
If you are, I'm not saying if you're her type, don't put her to work.
Okay.
But I'm saying if you're not her type, that's got to be your primary focus.
Okay.
Never let a woman run you, man. Never let a woman run you. I can be pissed, poor, broke, living in my whip. And if I fall through a brow house, she live in a mansion, that bitch ain't gonna run me.
Shit.
While I'm there, I'm still me. And the third thing, never be afraid to change your fucking life when you're not happy, man.
Real talk, man.
Because I'm telling you, stress is a motherfucker, boy. It'll take you out, man. Before you even know you're dying, your ass will be on your deathbed because of stress, man. So don't let anybody guilt trip you or convince you that you need to be stuck in some shit that you're miserable in, man. Because I'm gonna tell you, misery love company, man. And so the only people gonna come around when you miserable is more miserable motherfuckers. So hey man, look, y'all find me, man. Book of Out for running me. You throw it up in the YouTube chat, in the YouTube search, man. I'll come right up. I have another channel, King Ray, man. That's really a man building channel. My BOA channel is turned to some other shit, unfortunately, but you know, the algorithm has turned it into what it is. Y'all can also find me on IG, book_of_Out for running me. And man, y'all keep your head up, man, and stay strong out there, man, because this shit ain't gonna get better. It's gonna get way worse before it gets better.
Real talk. Thank you for the contribution, BOA. Lucario, final thoughts.
Yeah, man. First, I want to thank y'all for having me, man. You know, shout out to EO, shout out to BOA, shout out to Hotep, shout out to Sable, shout out to you, Donovan, Real Talk. And everybody, make sure you go to badboymembership.com. That's the website, so you can, you know, step up your dating game. But as far as all of this is concerned, you know, I'm gonna say it on two fronts. Now, if this is all orchestrated and just some publicity and all that other stuff, I hope Will and Jada does their thing and gets what they would need to get out of the situation, if that's their plan. And we, you know, who knows, that could be behind the scenes or whatever. Now, if this is real though, where, you know, Will Smith is out here getting played and he's sitting at home crying for some reason and Jada's just being ridiculous, I feel like, you know, Will Smith really needs to get in front of the whole situation, even let's say with this book, like be like, yo, this is what it is. This is who I am. This is what's going on, so that he could just live his reality and his truth and make some go down. Because funny part is, I look at it like this. It'll be funny if the reason why he's staying with Jada is because Jada knows some things that he don't want her to tell. So she's like, listen, you ain't going nowhere. I'm going to tell about all the things you don't want me to tell about for real. So who knows? So I'm just hoping that if this is real and he wants to get away from her, he's able to get away from her, but also be who he needs to be, so that nothing can come out to tarnish his situation. Because I think right now in the public eye, he's being tarnished just in general, and it's kind of hurting him, even if, you know, for example, this is just for sales to help the sales. So it's kind of like, you know, you're right. I just hope everything that they're trying to do is working for how they're trying to do it. That's all I'm saying.
Because if it doesn't, it makes him look really bad, right?
Right, exactly.
Hotep.
Did anybody catch that Coach EO said that a woman needs to be afraid of you on Halloween?
Yeah, oh yes. Oh, here we go. Hold up. Here we go. Halloween. Yes, sir.
You gotta be a spooky nigga. Shout out to BOA. I'm digging the black and white. I think that's a real dope touch. I might have to do a couple of my lives like that. So I'm stealing that just to give you fair warning.
That's a very serious tone.
I'm Hotep Jesus, aka Brian Sharp. check me out at menoforder.com. That's Men of Order. It's a beautiful project by a bunch of grown men in successful relationships, and even young men who are single and not in relationships. And we're putting out a lot of great information regarding money and relationships and sports betting as well. So check us out, menoforder.com.
Okay, good. I like stuff like that. Yeah, I like projects like that help guide young men. Kevin, your thoughts?
You know what? I think all the guys said it really good. I'm Sabo. You can find me. The Adventures of Sabaho is one channel. My music group is The Fellas, the single is Thought Mommies. Check me out. You'll see the stuff I do. As always, honored to be with the guys on the panel. Lucario, good to talk to you in person or over, actually being a stream with you.
Nice meeting you, man.
All right.
I remember, it's funny, man. I've watched Lucario for years, and I had no idea that he'd watched me for years until I was like,
I didn't know you for years. I didn't know for years. I'll be knowing that. I'll be like, oh shit, I didn't know BOA knew me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know EO knew me even when he was first coming. I didn't know that's funny. Even Hotep, I was like, I saw Hotep for a minute. So I was like,
the first time I saw Hotep was on Rogan.
So. Well, y'all are all in the same business, so people in the same business know each other.
That is going to do it for the second episode of the 5th season of the 6. We will see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.